Lisa flies off the handle the second you say something she doesn't like, so I absolutely think that she was yelling as well. Second, never in the history of Housewives has this many women who agree on nothing else agree that this happened. Thirdly, when I saw Mary meet up with Meredith, Mary almost doesn't have the capacity to lie about a situation. And when she kept saying, because Meredith was saying things like, well, I know this is what you're hearing, Mary kept saying, I was there.
I was there.
And then it's like, well, you were asleep, well, you were this. Ricky Lake on Watch What Happens Live simply said, were there pills involved? And I will say a lot of people take sleeping pills on airplanes. And when mixed with wine or alcohol, or even not mixed, it can have an effect on people where there are things they don't remember. Welcome to Cocktails and Gossip, the podcast where we drink cocktails, but you better believe we're going to spill the tea. We chat reality TV, celebrity blinds, and the hottest tea from BravoandCocktails.com. And as always, it's all alleged and just for fun. We do not verify our blinds. I'm B.
And I'm Amanda. Let's get into this week's tea.
Cocktailers, we are here on the eve of BravoCon. Even though people are already arriving, Amanda, the tea is already freaking coming in. I am all ready. I'm so excited. I'm nervous. I'm all the things. How are you?
I am great. I feel the same. I'm very much anticipating this weekend ahead because it is really fun. I just read, for example, one of the cocktailers ran into Captain Jason in Vegas. So people are arriving and heading out. And so
one of our cocktailers saw Andy Cohen himself flying out of Newark, which I'd love to know why he was flying out of Newark. I have to imagine it's because of all the cancellations and everything.
Yeah.
So and he flew out, was it Tuesday? What was it, Monday? I think it was
maybe Monday, I want to say. Yeah.
So he's got a big job ahead of him. There's not enough eye patches in the world.
No, seriously. He's got I would imagine every day there's some sort of B12 shot in the butt for him, an IV, Red Bull, coffee. I cannot imagine the exhaustion that is Andy Cohen after BravoCon.
I don't know what the Watch What Happens Live schedule looks like, but if I were Andy, I would book a spa in Arizona, which is like right there after BravoCon, and just veg out for 3 nights and then get all the liquids in me and all the meditation and yoga. Not that I've ever done any of that in my life, but it just seems needed after and then he has to deal with all the drama and all the talent, and all their beefs, and they're all going to be texting him. And, I know he loves it, but, in our little corner of the world, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
I can't imagine, actually dealing with the talent in that capacity. It must be crazy.
I think I'm trying to think of, if the only people working probably harder than Andy are the people who are actually running the entire event and the social media people. And
the people setting up. I also had videos sent to me, which I was asked not to share, of crews putting up at the, convention center.
Mm-hmm.
Every part of it is such an undertaking.
It's wild. So you guys are probably listening. It's either Friday or Saturday, depending on whether you're a cocktail member. Some of you might be getting ready to go to BravoCon. Some of you might be just squeezing us in as you are on your way. We want all of you to arrive there very safely with no delays. Have a great time. We just want to remind you, please do DM us or email us you can use the send us tea button at the top, right at the top of the website. Don't forget, you can always put in a real or a fake email address. We won't share your email. If you want to send us something so we can follow back up, send us your real one. We won't post it. Don't forget that nothing that happens is too small or too big. You might be even thinking I bet somebody else has already sent them this. Don't even hesitate. Just shoot us a quick note. And next week on Wednesday, the 19th, we are going to do our post BravoCon Zoom. You're not going to want to miss it because we will be discussing everything that we get. So we will do a full debrief. This is, again, only for members of Cocktail Party. The cocktailers who have been at BravoCon and will have stories to tell us will be on there. Tracy is going to have a baby on her hip, but is going to try to join us to give us her post BravoCon download as well. And I guess we can finally announce that we are running a flash sale for those of you who are not yet members of Cocktail Parties. So you know that we get some haters sometimes that say, I can't believe that you make us pay for tea, or that you make people pay for tea. And B, I know you and I always giggle when we see comments about that, not because we think it's funny, but because those people are really missing the whole point of Cocktail Party. Yes, we have the hottest gossip. We shared the tea about Kyle and Amanda. We've broken Scandal, like of Lindsay and Carl breaking up. Of course, like that. We have very, very hot gossip that we do not share.
We have it first.
But it's so much more about gathering these like-minded reality TV fans to chat about all of our favorite hobby, which is gossiping about celebrities. It's truly about Cocktail Party it's truly about community. And we do that on the monthly Zoom. We do it daily on Discord. We have the extra podcasts. The other cool thing is B and I will text because we'll see that cocktailers are getting together on their own and doing their get-togethers, making their own friendships. And we as a group celebrate the wins. So we just had a cocktailer get married who got engaged at Wolf in Tahoe, where Lisa Vanderpump has a restaurant. And so they just got married. So we got to celebrate that. And then we mourn the losses together as well. So we are very, very proud of this community that we have built together. We've had so many members say they came for the gossip, but that they really stayed for the community and the gossip. So if you're interested in checking out Cocktail Party, we are throwing this flash sale just for starting now until Monday night at midnight. So you can get Cocktail Party, which is usually $7.50 a month. You can get 2 months of it for only $8. So you can join by going to bravoandcocktails.com/join and select the monthly membership and use code BravoCon25. Offer is only good until midnight on Monday, so you want to jump on it before it goes away. And you're really going to want to be on it all weekend to hear the BravoCon tea.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off what Amanda said, it doesn't, and you guys, and I love our cocktailers because they get so offended for us when they see people in Facebook groups or wherever being like, I can't believe people pay for this. People pay for Patreons. I personally am on Patreon where I legitimately get one extra podcast a month.
Yeah.
And that's all I get. And that's fine because if I want to listen to it, that could be worth it for me. You know, I know that there are people who love sports who pay for like the NFL package, like all these different things. So I don't like anybody who icks somebody else's yum. If I see somebody enjoying something that doesn't hurt anybody, good for them. So some people aren't really that into gossip or aren't really that into Bravo or reality TV or whatever, and they don't need a community. They don't want a Discord channel where it's basically like, I don't go on Reddit, but I have to imagine it's similar. We have our own everything. Anything that you host somewhere else for $7.50 a month, you get it all us. So if you like Bravo and you like gossip and you like to chat about it, we're the spot. So, and if you don't like it, that's fine, but you don't have to, like, you know, whatever. To me, it's just silly. In any event. We have had a very difficult week.
Are you tired by this? I feel like sometimes when things like what has been happening happen, we feel a little exhausted by it because we're like, well, we know. Anyway, are you feeling tired?
For me, it's very difficult because when you get information that is as big as a breakup or a divorce on the horizon, you really do hope that it isn't true. Whether the couple has had issues or whatever, like, you feel for them. But then on the other hand, it's like we're in the business of gossip and these people put themselves on television. They televise their weddings. They televise their entire relationships. And we know that they're televising their breakup. It's just that they're not showing it to us yet. So like our loyalty can't lie with somebody who's putting it on camera. It's the same way like I felt about Lindsay and Carl. I felt really sad to hear that they broke up. If a reality star feels like, how dare she share that? It's like, you shared it. You had cameras up during the whole thing, as Amanda and Kyle do right now. So, you know what I mean? So like, that's how I could sleep at night. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying like, are you tired from that? It's more like, isn't it? It's just, so I guess backing up a little bit. Today, Page Six put out an article, unexclusive, as it says.
Which essentially exclusive because we posted on Sunday morning all of the tea that we've been getting about Amanda and Kyle and their current situation and whether or not they're divorcing.
Yes. And a source in the article admits the couple is going through a challenging time, insists that they are not on a break, but that they are living separately.
So we're going to back it all the way up to when I finally decided to post. So when I get DMs from somebody who follows my account and DMs me and comments like, whatever, oh, haha, whatever, and then you scroll up, I have no reason to believe that this person would make something up about a Bravo celebrity or reality TV or celebrity and just send it to me. It's not like it's the first message I'm ever getting from them. Do you know what I mean?
You've had history with them.
Exactly. So I heard from someone very close to them. This person told me that they heard from someone very close to them that they were split up. She's like, I heard that they're selling the apartment. Now, side note, I don't believe they own their apartment, but I took it to mean more like moving. So this was at the end of October. Last week, I got another DM, and the person said that from Amanda and Kyle's inner circle, I'm hearing they broke up. They say that they've always known this person in their inner circle, and they've never heard anything like this. And like the people have asked, because we all know everyone's always like, are Amanda and Kyle broken up?
Yeah.
So I heard from another person that at the Amazon influencer party, other than the photo ops where we saw her DJing with him, they completely ignored each other. They did not interact all night long. So this is all coming in, and I'm like, all right, this is enough for me to make a post and be like, guys, this is what we're hearing, which doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but smoke, 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 fire. So I post that, and I get another DM who says, I won't say the relationship, but Carl told their friend that they're divorcing and it will be shown on the spinoff show, and that Carl hopes to make a few appearances on the new show because he's not slated to currently, but he is close with them, so I'm sure that they'll utilize him to speak with both of them. Listen, I find it completely odd that they would be at all of these events acting like they're still married, even putting their rings back on, because we know that we've seen them both without their rings. Amanda often doesn't wear her ring. Is it possible that they are just going through a rough time? And the reality is they do events with Page Six. Okay. Somebody gave Page Six the go-ahead to print that they're having a rough time. That was their answer to, how are we going to go through BravoCon all weekend? I can tell you there are no photo ops of them together. Mm-hmm. Kyle is with Carl. Amanda is with Sierra. Now, Kristen Dowdy and Luke are together. There's one where they're separated, but there's one together. Nia and Danny, Janet and Jason, and the list goes on. Similar shows have couples together and separate. They have no photo op together. So this is more serious than just going through a rough time. Period blank. They've been going through a rough time since they got together. Let's call it what it is.
Right.
This is obviously headed somewhere. Listen to me. Their Amazon rate was a couple rate. There was a lot to figure out here. They are a brand very similar to Brittany and Jax. They are sold as a package deal. When they split, that will change their rates. Loverboy is valued at whatever it's valued at, but it has investors. It's all of these things. Whatever revenue comes in a month, there's no prenup. How are they figuring that out? A lot of pieces to their divorce puzzle need to be figured out. So this is not so simple of like clean break. It's not like when Craig and Paige broke up and they just had totally separate things and ventures, and they were totally separate reality television personalities. Yes, together they were boombastic, but Paige was getting her own rate. Craig was getting his own rate. They were not a package deal. This complicates things totally outside of the fact that they own Loverboy and everything else together because there's no prenup.
100%. I've been living this with you, this specific subject, for the last couple weeks, because sometimes there's stuff that comes in that we discuss. And do we post this? How do we post this? Where do we post this? And we really did on this one, just decided to sit on it while we dug into it more. And like you said, as we say here at Cocktails and Gossip, when there's smoke, there's fire. And I think there can, besides all the practical reasons with, they're still figuring things out, and we too had heard Amanda got her own realtor to get her own place. It could be that they can't say anything about their status because it could be that they signed a contract with Bravo, with the production company doing the new show that says they have to keep their relationship status quiet for the show. It's sad. And of course, there could still be hope, that if we take them for the source that's in this page 6 article as true, that they're really working on this relationship and, they just need time apart, then we'll cheer for them. But my feeling is that they were probably just trying to get through BravoCon before they could announce anything, or maybe until there's the first teaser for the new show, something along those lines. I'm imagining that they're kind of moving forward as if they know that if they file, that it will be national news. It'll get picked up immediately. And it could be that they can't and that they're not allowed to. So they're having to work things through privately and not file and not do that stuff so they can keep it as much on the down low as they have to. Hey, cocktailers, it's Amanda. You know that B and I both love Nutrafol, but I thought you actually might be interested to hear that I had my own skepticism about it before I tried it. Would it really work? Would it just kind of work? Would it work for me? I started taking the women's formulation of Nutrafol in January of 2024. Within about 3 months, I started noticing I had a layer of baby hairs all over my head. There for a while, it looked like there were little flyaways kind of sticking out all over my head, which was all of the new hair that I started growing because of Nutrafol. Now that new hair is all integrated and looks more like a layer that was cut into my hair. I get complimented about my hair and I tell everyone that it's Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. Nutrafol is the first and only hair growth supplement to be NSF certified for sports, testing against 290 plus athletic banned substances, toxicology reviews, ingredient testing, label verification, and annual manufacturing facility audits to ensure FDA requirements are met. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code GOSSIP. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code GOSSIP. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code GOSSIP.
I was saying to myself after we posted, they're going to have to say something, right? Because I contemplated, we had all this intel on Thursday, and I really held off because I really wanted to be sure. And so as other stuff came in, and we never know who's sending us this stuff, there are new people on the cast. They may or may not like them. You know what I mean? We never really know where this is coming from. But what I will say is we posted it on Sunday. And so from there, they said something to page 6 about having a difficult time today, which is Wednesday. They had to get ahead of it because people are going to ask them at BravoCon. There are a lot of cocktailers, thousands of them, that will be attending BravoCon.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know where they're at in their split, or if they've decided, if they may be doing a trial separation, right? In which case, a hard time is really the truth. Amanda thinks that they're going to file after BravoCon, in which case you kind of lied to your fans, which I think people would understand, right? They're really married. Like they really maybe, I don't know. I think this gives them a little grace, because instead of the questions, it will be people saying, I hope you guys figure it out.
Yeah.
I think, and listen, Kyle and Amanda are both smart. So I think they were smart to do this, whether or not they've decided to really divorced or they're just separated, they've given themselves the gift of fans wishing them well and not them saying, is that bitch Bravo and Cocktails making up shit or are you guys really split?
Or them saying, snide things, to Amanda about, I knew he wasn't good to you, the whole things like that, which cannot be helpful for them.
And I don't think people really say that. I was listening to Heather McDonald and she was like, people never really say that shit to your face.
Yeah, that's true. They just do it behind the cloak of a fake social media account.
I don't know. I feel sorry for them, but I also feel like it's not going to be possible for them. I think we'll probably see cracks this summer in Summer House. Obviously, this isn't out of the clear blue sky. I wonder if we're going to see more on Summer House than we're anticipating. In other words, because I distinctly remember when they first started filming for the spinoff, because we knew about it and Cocktailers knew about it. Mm-hmm. Just Kyle was at Lindsay's house that first time we spotted the cameras and we were like, yay, cameras are up. We knew it. Amanda was not there. Mm-hmm. So maybe we see them split in Summer House and maybe they really are just holding off till February. You're not going to get till February. Kyle's a very public person. He's at DJ events. He drinks too much. He's going to spill some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. And I honestly, building on what you said, we've been seeing cracks in this relationship for a long time. They both even admitted that they're going through therapy to try to improve things. And so I can't say that anybody is probably super surprised to hear this news. It's still sad, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so there is we'll, of course, talk about Salt Lake City. But we got this kind of wild and exciting email that we have to share. So curious to see what you think. It is from Roni News, and the subject is Stay Tuned. It says, why do you think Roni is still on pause? Because Bravo knows it can't flop for the third season, and it doesn't want to admit that the OGs are needed. At BravoCon, we will be finding out the news. Erin, Jessel, Carol, Dorinda, Luann, and Sonia, with 2 newbies, will be the next season. At this point, the women have met and have been around each other for 3 years, so it's not so crazy that these women would be on the same show anymore. Filming will start in January after the holidays.
After we posted this email, Erin posted a picture and she's with Carol. So there's that. It was just in my DMs as we were starting to record. Now, here's the thing. Carol, Amanda and I had told you guys that we were really hearing and things weren't completely finalized. We only knew that Sai, Jessel, and Erin were back. But we were hearing that there was a very good chance that Carol would be back. I had a Roni source who DM'd me and they were like, B, I do know that there is a big New York announcement that we're going to hear. But this person said their source was being very coy about specifics. So they kind of feel like the email makes sense. Now, before this, guys, I was told there will be no OGs. I mean, and we can't consider Carol an OG because number one, she's not an OG. She was on for a few seasons and she's been off for a long time. And she's not a caricature in the same way that Sonia and Dorinda and Luann, you know what I mean? Like they're almost characters. They're like Teresa's or Vicky's. You know what I'm saying? They're these big, you look at them, Roni. Whereas you look at Carol and she's a woman who was on Roni, but she's also like a true Manhattanite and all these things, which not to say the others aren't true Manhattanites. I hope this is true, but this is just an email. So there is a big New York announcement. If this is it, I kiss your feet. Roni at BravoCon.com.
Seriously. People are going to lose their minds in the best of ways and are going to say, why have you waited so long to do this?
And it also doesn't mean that they're full-time, right? Like I could just see them mixing in. There is a way to do it. There is also a way to do it and have the other lady, like the OGs, there's a way to do it.
Yeah, I think so too. And
you know what? To host them at Bluestone Manor.
Yes.
And only a couple of the new people stay at Bluestone because I don't think they'll all fit at that point. And the others stay at that hotel not that far away, which, and they do a dinner and there's some chaos ensues. And there's ways to insert it where you're making the season interesting while also allowing us to get to know the newer women better and then maybe slowly pivot the OGs back out again. I don't know. But I do think that we may see some OG blood infused. I don't see why not.
Everybody has been clamoring for this. I can't think of one person who wouldn't, that we've seen comments or people on Discord who have said we don't want the OGs back. And I think what's interesting about this particular group of women in terms of the OGs is that they are all savvy enough to know that their place can come or go, right? Because they've seen it happen to themselves. I would say that if they are in more of a we're on the cast together kind of situation, they're going to be smart enough to not get into this OGs versus the new school fights and we can't talk and we're shutting each other out. And that is one of the reasons that I'm like, this could be credible because I think those women get it.
If anything, lean on the new girls to rehash beefs with the OGs that you really have beef with, like Luann and Carol.
Right.
Luann and Dorinda have certainly had their rows over the year. They'll get back into it after a couple martinis. I just know that it's our season where we rewatch the Berkshire holiday episodes. So I just need to carve out some time, like in a Thursday or a Friday night where I got a nice bottle of red and I'm left alone in my room rewatching some of those episodes.
Oh my gosh, I need to come and just do a night like that with you.
Oh my God, how fun would that be? I would get like so pajamas and just be so cozy.
It would be so great. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Salt Lake City because this was quite the doozy. Once again, I mean, every week we keep saying this, another great episode. So the ladies wrapped up their yacht trip and head home. But a lot of drama went down when the ladies were traveling, and unfortunately the cameras weren't rolling. Meredith is pissed that Brittany brought up in the previous episode a TikTok rumor that Meredith's husband Seth has a mistress. Brittany had apparently shown Whitney the video, and Whitney admits it this week, and Meredith's upset with Whitney, but Whitney says, I wanted to, since Brittany is the one who brought it up, I thought she needed to be the one to do it. So I told her that if she didn't tell Meredith, I would. And this is important, we'll come back to why later, but before the ladies get off the boat, Bronwyn goes to Meredith and says, let's dress up in inflatables and toss the creepy unicorn that Jared gave Brittany into the sea. Then we hear that while the ladies were traveling back, Meredith, quote unquote, lost her mind, made a huge scene at the airport, and then proceeded, and this is my words, harass Brittany and talk loudly about her the entire plane ride home with Lisa Barlow, according to Brittany. So Brittany in her confessional accuses them of pulling her hair, kicking her seat, splashing wine on her. Meredith denies all of this in her confessional and later in the show and talking to other people and says, no one told her to stop. No one arrested me. So it couldn't have been that bad. And we see Heather be the first one to meet up with Brittany in the aftermath. Brittany has little to no makeup on. She looks like she's been through the ringer, which is not her normal look. And Brittany mentions that she's almost just as upset with Lisa because Lisa joined in and Lisa didn't stand up for her. So before we move on, B, I'm really curious to know what you think. Who is lying or exaggerating? Did Meredith and Lisa harass Brittany, or is Brittany exaggerating or making some of these things up?
So I will say this. First, Lisa flies off the handle the second you say something she doesn't like. So I absolutely think that she was yelling as well. Second, never in the history of housewives has this many women who agree on nothing else agree that this happened. Thirdly, when I saw Mary meet up with Meredith, Mary almost doesn't have the capacity to lie about a situation. And when she kept saying, because Meredith was saying things like, well, I know this is what you're hearing. Mary kept saying, I was there.
I was there.
And then it's like, well, you were asleep. Well, you were this. Ricky Lake on Watch What Happens Live simply said, were there pills involved? And I will say a lot of people take sleeping pills on airplanes. And when mixed with wine or alcohol, or even not mixed, it can have an effect on people where there are things they don't remember.
Yes. And to jump on to what you're saying, I kind of feel like the Mary and Meredith conversation came from Meredith's genuine worry about Meredith.
You mean
and
general? Yeah.
I think Meredith is genuinely worried about some sort of pills, something like that. And I think that's the subtext of that whole conversation. Like, are you okay?
And that has always been rumored about Meredith, especially when traveling, that she just gets very out of it. I don't remember if it was last season or the season before, but after a long flight, she was very clearly under the influence, and it wasn't just.
She didn't have her makeup done in the bed, remember? Because she was so out of it with the Mexico trip, I think.
Yes. So there are all of these factors. And so something Heather said, and Heather pissed me off a lot of ways, a lot of reasons. I actually, as much as Lisa Barlow is Delulu, when she said, are you the judge and jury? Like this whole Heather meeting with people and being like the decider about what is this and what is that is. But one thing she said on Watch What Happens Live regarding Meredith's I would have been arrested. Okay, first of all, there is a privilege that these women have.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, they're on a reality show. They're with a production crew. They have basically the entire first class. If it wasn't them, it was production. And with that, even you can be intimidating somebody, but it's not listen, I had a couple of flight attendants who reached out and they were like, one person said, I'm a flight attendant. I'm surprised there's nothing about this. I assumed crew signed an NDA. If she was that unruly, the crew would have had police meet her at the plane. Another flight attendant is like, when women have kind of been overserved and they're kind of bickering or whatever, we'll move their seat. I don't understand why they didn't move their seats, but I think that Brittany legitimately felt intimidated. And why would every other woman agree with it except Barlow, who was also doing it? Every single other woman agreed with it.
Yeah.
No one wasn't there, but everyone else did.
Well, and Lisa, I think, is heavily leaning on her own memory of this, which is, she's like, I was just trying to diffuse things, and I was just trying to handle Meredith, and I just thought it would make it better if she would just show the TikTok. And so I just,
such short fuse that she was probably like, just show her the fucking TikTok, just show it. That's
right.
Like a chihuahua. Yeah.
And I can imagine too, Lisa being like, I just want to go to fucking sleep.
Yeah.
Being tired and frustrated, and that perhaps poking her to reactions that she is not proud of. My husband was watching with me and he asked me this. He's like, I don't understand. He's like, if this really happened, why didn't anybody film it? So I'm like, well, wait a second. Well, there was a whole thing last season about secret filming. So about Brittany secretly filming what was the big fight in the Sprinter van. And so I think the ladies were probably scared to do it. And I would imagine, just as you said, the rest of first class was probably a lot of production. I felt really disturbed watching this last night.
Production loves Meredith.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And the fact that Mary was like, well, are you going to apologize? And also, something that I really took note of was when Meredith was at the breakfast, right? She was like, well, I have no use for Brittany. She's completely dead to me based on what she said. And she's dead to, and any one of my friends that remains friends with her, you're dead to me too. And it's like, oh, okay, but Lisa Barlow can say you slept with half of Manhattan. There's such a hierarchy with Barlow and Meredith. They really see themselves as untouchable. And then the other women who started with them, they give them a little bit more power. But Brittany to them is, they just treat her like a total flake who's useless and shouldn't be on the show.
And that is where literally last night I'm watching it. I have to stop the show and just pull out my phone to take some notes, because I was disturbed, because I'm like, hold on a second. If you think back to the first episode of this yacht trip, first Meredith starts the trip by throwing water on Brittany and telling everybody else to do the same whenever she says Jared's name. Then they all make fun of her for hitting on Jason.
And Lisa even says, oh, please, Jason doesn't want her.
Right.
So nasty.
Then they throw the unicorn in the water. Then whatever this whole situation is happens to the point where, again, Meredith, nobody's even fighting about the fact that Meredith did freak out in the airport and yell at Brittany. And then I think it's more of the extent and severity of what happened on the plane is really what issues, because even Meredith says, yes, it happened.
It disturbed their sleep.
And yes. So you guys know I am no fan of Brittany either. I feel like this was systematic and merciless bullying of Brittany. And I think it wasn't just the situation on the plane. I think it was thing after thing that had been done. And I feel terrible for her. Do I think that she should have brought up this TikTok rumor? Absolutely not. But does she deserve to be mercilessly bullied like this? Absolutely not either.
I'm with you. 100%.
Yeah. In a very interesting turn of events.
Oh, so juicy. This is so juicy.
Bronwyn and Whitney get back together in Salt Lake City. Of course, they talk about the situation at first. But then Bronwyn says, well, Todd doesn't behave on planes either. And the look on Whitney's face, I thought it seemed either she's a very good actress or I think she seemed actually legitimately shocked because Bronwyn then says she made Todd stay in a hotel for a night because he was seen texting when he was on a plane by somebody who was sitting behind him, texting with a woman wearing lingerie on a flight. I'm betting this was a woman on OnlyFans and that he was looking for a last-minute hotel room in New York City. So then Bronwyn admits that she is thinking of opening her marriage because she would prefer to have that instead of secrets or cheating in the marriage. So Whitney then talks about her quote-unquote friends who have had different arrangements, agreements in their marriage. She says that she and Justin are not in an open marriage, but that they have discussed it. So I'm so curious, were you as shocked by this conversation as I was? Do you think that Bronwyn's marriage was possibly already open, which is why they decided to have this conversation on television?
Okay. Yes, I was shocked. I was shocked at the openness and honesty of this conversation, but I have to separate the two couples, okay? Because I think there's two very different things happening. I'll start with Bronwyn. I think that Bronwyn has a lot to lose by not being with Todd financially. I think that Bronwyn is willing to do what she needs to do to maintain her lifestyle. And I think that she could be taking... Listen, we know that last year she cried about him possibly cheating, and it was sort of this weird thing where then it was just an emotional thing they said at the reunion or something. Now that she's a public figure, she thought that she would be able to be on Housewives and be a star, and he could just skulk off in a corner on a plane and get together with women and bang them in Manhattan and get away with it. She's learning that that's not the case. Do I think they had an open marriage? No. Do I think that they had an arrangement where he traveled a lot and she didn't ask questions and it was what it was? I think she's willing to do what she needs to do to preserve her lifestyle. So I think this is a little bit of a flip where she sat down with Whitney and talked about opening her marriage. Do I think Todd is a person who would have an open marriage where the arrangement was he does what he wants, she does what she wants? No. Yeah. I think the arrangement would be that he does what he wants and she spends his money and lives how she wants to live and is allowed to be on Housewives. I don't believe it would involve other men for her. That's just my opinion. Those are all my opinions. What do you think about that part?
I actually agree with you on all of those points. I think that this conversation is a way of Bronwyn trying to save face.
Yes.
You know, more and more details and more things have come out that have probably surprised her too. Because I think, to your point, it was probably unspoken and that she just didn't ask questions, but she also didn't have to have some of these details thrown in her face. But not.
And so now I think that she's sitting there like, you know what? I can make myself okay with this, but he's got to be more honest about it so I'm not shocked when I hear it and so that it can be that we have an open marriage.
Right. It's like the conversation that I've had with my kids. I'm like, I mean, it's really totally different. But I tell my kids, I need to know what's going on because if I get a call from school or for whatever and I don't know what's happening, I can't help you as much as if I know what's going on and you've told me from your perspective what's happened.
100%.
Right. And so, yeah, my heart goes out to Bronwyn, though, because I'm seeing a woman just almost desperately trying to hang on to the life that she knows, even though so much else in her life has changed. She just seems so very focused on keeping up what semblance of the marriage that she can.
I don't believe there's a world in which Todd didn't sign an ironclad prenup, regardless of what is said. I just don't believe that. And I think she stands to lose a lot. And I think that she will pivot the marriage in any way she can to maintain. I really do. Those are my thoughts. Now, where Whitney and Justin are concerned. First of all, we all heard the swinging rumors. We had it in Cocktail when they were on the site for years. I have to tell you something. I had a couple of DMs today. When Whitney's in New York City and also at BravoCon, she's very flirty with attractive guys. And I don't want to say young because she's a young woman herself, but like in their 30s, early 40s, like men. And like Whitney's thing, she said they didn't have an open marriage, but then she said something like, but like, you know, Justin understands that like if I go out for a night and just have like so much fun, as long as I'm like safe and whatever, it doesn't change that he's my partner, he's my person. So in my head, I'm like, okay, so you're saying you don't have an open marriage, but clearly you've gone out and done stuff here or there. That's kind of what I was hearing.
Yeah, same.
And Whitney was also focusing like on her needs and Bronwyn's needs, which I found to be funny because they weren't having the same conversation.
Right.
Because Whitney was like, our husbands are older and like they have to understand. And I think Whitney was being like, I'm young. If I am in New York City for Watch What Happens Live and Justin isn't with me and I'm at a club and I want to have a one night stand, like that's cool as long as I'm like honest and safe about it and whatever. And Bronwyn is having to open her marriage, in my opinion, for her husband's sake, not for her sake, because I don't see that part happening. Although I suppose if she was discreet, she could get away with it if it's something she wanted. I don't think any of us are going to call Todd and tell him. Right. Although Lisa Barlow will.
Yeah.
She better be very discreet. So
that's true.
I think that Whitney, I'm just saying, I think that Whitney does, let's put it this way. When Whitney was hanging in New York City with Lindsay Hubbard, I'm fairly certain she hooked up. Yeah, I'll say that.
Very interesting.
But I was surprised about the conversation because of the honesty of it. Although I thought, first of all, I thought it was kind of cool for them because I think it's going to change their friendship. Like, I think it will make them closer. But I feel like when Bronwyn and Todd first get together, he was very taken by her and very much in love with her. And I sort of feel like she loved that adoration and acceptance because we know she didn't have that at home. And I feel like that ship has sailed and she's sort of yesterday's news. And she's just doing what she can to maintain the marriage. I'm sorry to say it like that, but that's just how I feel.
She's tap dancing. I agree.
Yeah.
So yet another great. And then even the mid-season trailer, the rest of the season looks so good.
So good.
I just can't get enough. I really can't. Okay, so we hear that Shaw's will be airing in January.
I think this is stuff we're going to find out at BravoCon, some of it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So
I think,
guys,
I don't,
yeah.
Guys, I've been getting so much stuff. Like, I can't even organize my own brain.
This is going to be us for the next 5 days. Maybe we need to go to the spa.
Right? I heard Jeff Lewis reboot is starting to film in January. Like, I have to imagine that these things are going to be announced. Although we got an email like, oh, there'll be no big announcements. Okay, Bravo. We won't post any spoilers. ATL is airing in March.
Yes.
We got some scoop. Shamia and Portia are still at odds in a shock to nobody. Shamia and Kelly are coming for Cynthia. And the trip to Scotland was explosive and the season is going to deliver. And I think I just got an email, or was it a DM? Because first I heard we're not getting anything from Rhode Island. Then I heard pay attention to their Instagram. Maybe they will show up. And now I'm hearing we're probably going to see a trailer for Rhode Island. I have to guess we're going to see a trailer for Rhode Island. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah. I mean, it's ready. People are saying it's going to be like the next big show. I would be surprised. I will be one of those people watching social media to see if it looks like anybody's at the airport or airport adjacent. Because, I don't know.
Here's my thing with the Rhode Island ladies. We want the trailer, but it almost doesn't matter if we meet them or not because they're not established reality stars who we know. So it's like just going to be a bunch of women on stage who we don't know who's who yet. You know what I'm saying? I did hear that cameras may have picked up when Rula and the husband had the big fight and he got arrested and there's a restraining order because he put a tracking device on her car. So that's juicy. But again, until we know her from the show, do we need Rula standing on a stage waving at us? I don't know. I want the trailer though.
And my thought is this. I think whether we've gotten these emails saying don't expect any big announcements, which I kind of gave the side eye because the reality TV world is watching the next 4 or 5 days while this is happening at BravoCon. Events like this are a big amplifier for news because everyone's paying attention. Why wouldn't they announce some of these things? Because the other thing is those BravoCon tickets are very expensive. They've got to give people
what they want
more than just the panels or the little viral moments or even the opportunities to take pictures, the photo ops, that sort of thing.
And we've had so many different show ideas, things they're thinking about. We could hear about Southern Wives. We could hear about something in NOLA. We could hear Ladies of London, I hear, isn't filming yet, which is kind of disappointed. But Carolyn Stansberry is going to be at BravoCon. I keep hearing she will be making an appearance on the Ladies of London. Also, I don't know if this is going to be it. But again, why wouldn't it be announced? There is an OGs girls trip coming up, filming the first week of February. I'm not allowed to say who I know that's confirmed, but it's big named OGs. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. And then we got another email this week about another girls trip with a whole other slew of names. So we're getting some of this at BravoCon, guys. We're getting it. Oh, here's the other one. The other one we got was Shannon Sutton, Erica, Heather Dubrow, Mary Dolores, Karen Huger, Lisa Hochstein. Alternatives include Sheree. Poor Sheree is always an alternative on every list. Margaret Dorit and Lisa Barlow. And I would just like to say justice for Sheree because she's not an alternative in my mind. I love her.
I agree. I would love to see her. I would love to see Nene.
Oh, somebody said, do we think there'll be a surprise appearance by Nene at BravoCon? I would love that. Cut Nene a check and throw her on a stage. Have her come out. It would be fantastic.
People would be so, I agree. People would be so excited.
Vicky will be back on OC for season 20. I hear she's in talks. Of course, she's demanding full-time. I'm sure they're telling her it's full-time, but we all know that after all the attention she gets at BravoCon, homegirl's going to want to come back one way or the other. All the Gina stuff with Travis's ex-wife.
Oh, a lot's been going on with that this week.
And one of our
It's so sad that
her, and they say that she's nutty cuckoo.
The exes, not Gina. Yeah.
Not Gina. The ex is nutty cuckoo. The ex's parents are super duper wealthy. It's basically like just a nightmare. Because when you have money, you get away with stuff that you shouldn't.
The news this week that Travis had to call the police because not only has the ex been holding the son from coming to their house, she's been not letting him go to school.
Oh my God.
Which is illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal, but it's also, it could affect custody, I suppose.
Guys, I know that I can tell you from experience with so many of my friends who have gone through really, really awful situations. Get over yourself on behalf of your children.
Follow the Michelle Dempsey.
Yes, it makes me, all I think about when we're talking about that is that poor boy, because in his head, he probably thinks he's, sticking close to his mom and he's being manipulated. And it's so nothing like that should be happening, period. He should be going to school. There should be decisions that they're making together for his welfare, for his siblings' welfare. It just makes me so sad for that child.
I'm so curious to see what they do with OC. Do they just bring everybody back? I don't know where Katie lands because, again, we've only seen one part of the reunion. Then there was the whole Tamra thing because she had a very bad showing at the reunion. It's so funny because she so clearly was like, okay, Shannon wouldn't move forward with me this season, so I'm just going to bark at her all reunion and be super nasty to her because I have no use for her. So then she does the reunion with Vicky with the coffee ad. And Vicky doesn't want to miss the opening of an envelope. So there she is. And they got paid very handsomely, I'm told. And I don't know, because I feel like production's really pissed off with Tamra and the leaking. And now she's on 2T's clarifying how her podcast is different than bloggers. And it's kind of like she does the same shit that we all do with recapping and sharing tea. Well, not that we all do because we have a lot of breaking news here, but she often cites our breaking news, which we really appreciate. And she has a great pod. But
I also want to say about Tamra, I really like her on the podcast.
Yes. I don't think she's who she is on the show. I think the show's a job and she just tries to keep it like a job.
I found her, but I don't know. I found her unbearable on the reunion. the way she kept telling Shannon to shut up and just being so dismissive before, like, even when it had nothing to do with the two of them, when Shannon was talking about something else, she was just like, shut up, shut up, shut up. It was,
and Shannon's like, oh, it's like short circuiting. I'm like,
well, because I think she was so surprised of like, is Tamara just not going to allow me to speak out on anything? I think Shannon just couldn't find the words.
Something about Jen, who I know that like production was really feeling her. She's just so like obviously lying about some of the Katie stuff, like, and not knowing the stuff Gretchen said. And it's like, it makes me, and I liked Jen, but it makes me kind of over her. Gretchen has got to go.
Yeah, I agree.
With the costumes. She is a beautiful woman. And I'm not with a lot with Emily, but I am with Emily that it looks like she was dipped in formaldehyde. The woman doesn't age. Beautiful. But what's with the John costumes?
I can't help but agree with you on that. And yeah, Gretchen's got to go. I don't know. Tamara, I was so happy to see her come back to the show. I've generally always liked her, even though she does some very nasty things. I really like her on the podcast.
Yes.
There's something that's going on, something in the show. It's just not working for her. And I feel like I like Tamara on social media. I like her everywhere else except for on the show.
I think Eddie feels the same way. Oh, this is a little interesting tidbit. Speaking of OGs, a cocktailer was at Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant in Vegas that Garcelle's son Oliver works at, the Paris. It's in the Paris Hotel. They said he's a doll, so sweet, so good looking. They chatted, and he said that his mom is working on a new show with Lisa Vanderpump. He said it's more of a talk show than a reality show, and it's going to film in New York. So I was like, well, I asked the person, is it Hulu or Bravo? They didn't know, but I'm like, Lisa still has a connection to Bravo because she executive produces, but her Vanderpump Villa's on Hulu. Hulu doesn't really have a talk show type thing, but they are expanding with a lot of new reality shows, so maybe they would do like a Watch What Happens Live kind of deal. I know.
So I could also see some kind of format like this working as a replacement for the after shows. I find the after shows to be kind of boring. I don't know if I don't always watch them.
I feel like we've been hearing about a talk show for the longest time, like in emails, like they've been wanting this, Bravo. Who else would we want to see? I think Garcelle nailed it. I know we all have our issues with Lisa, but I think that she could be good in this setting. Like the Sharon Osbourne kind of effect, like a little that English snark.
Yeah. No, I mean, Lisa is very, very funny. She's very dryly funny.
You know who would be amazing that I would love for them to bring back? And I mean, she happens to be a Beverly Hills housewife. I just think she would be so good at it because she's very even. Eileen Davidson.
Oh, I agree.
Because you can't have like a Vicky who's going to like get offended by things and like start shrieking, or a Shannon. A Dolores would work, and it's filming in New York. So a Dolores would work.
Yeah, a more ensemble kind of talk show than with guests like coming in.
But like,
yeah, like The View.
Erica Jane is so good on the podcast. I'm thinking of, listen, I have to give Tamara and Teddy their due. They've done a very good job of building their podcast empire and picking women who are good at it.
I agree. Like
Even
I said.
Emily, not that I love Emily, we know, but I feel like it's always good to have that lawyer perspective.
Absolutely.
And I think I enjoy Emily more when she's talking about other people. Like, I think that would be a good role for her. It's not that I dislike Emily. It's just she gets annoying when she's having to share herself. I don't like her delivery with it, but yeah.
I'm here for it. I agree.
So, guys, things to remember. Send us every fucking thing you see.
Don't forget, we can get videos, like not super long videos, but videos. And you can also email Amanda at Bravo and Cocktails.
Tracy's going to be running around. Yes.
Yeah. So if it's a longer video, but we can get videos and pictures through the Send Us Tea.
Or bravococktails@gmail.com. She's going to be running around. She has stickers for you guys. She's got her little mic. She is going to be rocking it. If you want to join 2 months for only $8, what's the code? BravoCon25, all caps.
BravoCon25 at bravoandcocktails.com/join.
And another important thing to say is it's totally fine if you join just for BravoCon and cancel. Amanda is not offended when people cancel, but I'm not. No. We get stuff sent to us, like people with well-meaning or like, oh my God, I saw this on a Facebook group or wherever, that place Reddit, which is a freaking, listen to me. If you would rather search around and see shit 3 days late, that's on you. But for me, that would give me a headache.
But also, if you don't care about how, one of the things that is the biggest compliment is when people say the community that you guys have, and I say all of us have done this together, but this community is so great. And there are so many women and men who say, I don't have anybody in my real life that I can talk to about the shows and debrief and gossip and do all this. And thank you for providing. And so, like I say, like so much more of the point you'll see. People come for the gossip, but they stay for the community.
Oh, shoot. Someone just DM'd me. Jessie from Mormon Wives changed her last name. I feel like we had heard that somebody from that cast was divorcing.
And
like
on probably like, wait a second, our show's coming out because it's coming out like this in the next week. So they're probably like, there's too much attention on BravoCon. We need it back on Mormon Wives.
100%, and good for them. And we did get some bachelorette tea. Apparently, somebody was talking to a producer at a wedding, and they said it wrapped, but a couple of you guys who are bachelorette fans are like, be a part of it wrapped, probably not the whole thing. But Taylor is apparently having a lot of trouble being far away from her kids, which obviously makes so much sense. She's got 3 little kids at home.
I don't know how we're going to handle this next 5 days because it's actually November 13th, tomorrow, that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives comes out.
Guys, don't expect us to watch it yet.
Yes, we will definitely be covering it. Oh, also,
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Mary Cosby's Church Examined. New documentary probes cult claims.
Oh.
Ooh. And that sucks for Mary because we all forgot about that. It's on TLC.
Well, it does really look interesting seeing her preaching again in the mid-season trailer. On a note that is a non-reality note, Tell Me Lies is coming back in January, too. Can't wait.
I can't wait. It is the most toxic. And I hear Lucy has a dark arc. How could it be any darker than it's been?
Whew, I guess we'll see. All right, well, be safe, everybody. Yes. Have so much fun.
So much fun. Be safe. Hydrate. Drink all you want, but make sure to get some water in there. Don't be like me when I don't.
Last thing I forgot to mention, I started, for those of you guys who are members and who are not on Discord and going to BravoCon, get on it because there's so much chatter going on. But I started a channel that's just BravoCon 25 for everybody, so you can talk about meetups.
But make sure you DM or email the tea. Don't just leave it in the Discord.
Yeah, don't let
that convo goes fast and we could miss it.
Yeah. So enjoy, guys.
I think we covered everything, guys. Well, no, we didn't.
No, there's so much more.
We got so much more tea. But we got all the most important stuff.
We did.
We love you guys. Have fun. Be safe. What's up, cocktailers? We want to thank you, as always, for listening to Cocktails and Gossip. Because of you, we've hit some amazing milestones, had some hilarious conversations, and have grown a truly amazing community. If you haven't already followed our podcast, hit the follow button in the top right of your Apple Podcast player, the follow button under the show logo on Spotify, or the subscribe button on Google Podcasts. We thrive on you, our audience. So make sure to tell all your gossip-loving friends about us too. And if you want to get all the tea, join our membership cocktail party by going to bravoandcocktails.com/join. Our members get access to the exclusive tea we post, the weekly podcast without ads, plus another additional bonus podcast every week. And of course, members also get to join us on our monthly live cocktail party Zoom, where we talk about the latest tea and even share tea that's just too hot to put in writing. Last, but maybe best, our members get access to the Cocktail Party Discord, where you can chat with Amanda, me, and all of the other cocktailers as well. There are always some great combos and hilarious comments happening in Discord. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you.